Hello guys and welcome to another day of Vlogmas. I have no idea what day it is, but it doesn't matter because we're here anyway in space and virtual time. So hopefully, who cares what day it is? Woohoo! Woohoo! So I thought today I would do a video that was about how I met my fiance and then our engagement story, because a couple of people have messaged and asked and how it happened and all the rest of it. So I thought, you know what, I'm gonna make this into a Vlogmas video, because so my fiance went to me and said, doesn't Vlogmas have to be about Christmas? And I was like, no. Vlogmas can be about anything. Is that right? Is that right? Can Vlogmas be about anything? Because if it's gonna be about Christmas every time, I have failed at Vlogmas. But you know what? Not many people here are here watching anyway, so we can just keep it our little secret, okay? Like, no one needs to know. Nobody needs to know that my Vlogmas is not about Christmas, okay? Okay. Me and Jay met in 2009, which sounds so weird. I had gone out with an old school friend. Anyway, I had gone to our other friend's house with him this particular night. I walked into his house and there was a guy there in the bathroom shaving. And I was like, hiya. And he was like, hiya. And John was like, oh, this is Jamie. And Jamie, this is Danielle. Anyway, so Jamie came out of the bathroom and he was like finished off shaving, and then he kind of just sat there and he just chatted with us. So I remember thinking, he's a really nice guy, like really easy to talk to, just really comfortable in his skin, and it was really nice. I didn't think anything of it. And so I went back home and carried on with life. And a couple of weeks later, it was like March, and I went to John's house because he had a house party and Jamie was there. I was like, been single like a month after an 8-year relationship, so I was all like, I just want to get single. So I'm at this party and me and Jamie are flirting and having like those, you know when you're like flirty, bantery arguments about random stuff, and that was that. And then we started chatting on Facebook because that was what you did in 2009, and we were on like Facebook chat, and I was totally free-spirited and comfortable flirting, had no fear of him liking me or not liking me, because I didn't want a relationship, didn't need a relationship, was looking to be single, and that was that. Then we just started flirting even more, and then that got onto text messaging, and we were texting, and then we would meet up with John, our friend, and we'd all see each other, and me and Jamie would be flirting more, and then eventually we admitted we liked each other, but I was still very adamant that I needed to be single. So for about 6 months we kind of dated, but I moved to London with my friends and he lived outside of London. And then finally, about 6 months later, it was very obvious that we had fallen in love. And so we got together, and I definitely have spent the time and taken the time since being with Jay we are very independent people, and we don't actually spend a lot of time together. We have different groups of friends and we have different hobbies and we have our things together that we love doing, but we also are very adamant about having our lives, because if we break up, our lives need to have that independence anyway, and I need to feel that. I really do truly want his happiness, so if he wasn't happy in the relationship, I would definitely want him to go and be happy. We're very open about saying that we don't need each other, but we choose to be together, and we choose to love each other, and we choose to make this work, because it's not hunky-dory, rainbow farts and unicorns, because relationships just are not like that. It's life. And I honestly probably just say, just make sure that you communicate in relationships. It's probably one of the biggest things that have helped our relationship. We have had rough patches. I'm not saying that there aren't relationships where they are so perfect that they don't have that and then they're not right. They might be right, but for us, I'm a volatile, quite opinionated, like, what's the word? Person. And there is no way I'm going to be with anyone where I don't have an argument here and there. We have got through our rough patches and we have learnt from each other and grown together, and I think that's it. We give each other the space to like grow and evolve together as well as separately, and I think that that's really important. Fast forward to 2016, we decide that we're gonna buy a flat in London, and we are in a position to, and we're so very lucky and grateful. So we put an offer in on a flat that we found, and that was in December, and we weren't gonna know until January whether we got it because of all the Christmas period and stuff. And that we get told we're going to pick up our keys on the 30th of January. Now, I was going to Sydney Opera House to perform for the Dan TDM tour on, I think, like the 18th or 20th of January, and I was getting back on the 30th. And we were like, do you know what, let's pick up the keys the day you get back. How amazing. So my January 2017 was like the best January I've ever had. We went and performed at Sydney Opera House. I actually am still pinching myself about that. And then I came back on the 30th of January to pick up the keys to our flat that we now own. Like, who am I? Who do I think I am? I don't even know what's going on. So I come back and I go to the gym, I get to our old flat and Jay's there and he's being really nice, and I'm like, wow, he has missed me. This is nice, because we are very good at being apart. So I was like, he's being so sweet and so nice. Anyway, we come to the new flat to pick up the keys. We met the guy, pick up the keys, and he's bringing us in and he's telling us about all this stuff, and he's here for like an hour filling us in on this paperwork and that paperwork, blah, 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 blah. And again, Jay's being really sweet, and then my stepdad had given us a bottle of champagne and said, this is for when you exchange on the flat, have it. And my mum had bought us 2 champagne glasses and was like, this is for when you toast your new flat. So the guy leaves and Jay's like, woo, let's have some Prosecco, not champagne, to celebrate. I'm like, let's boomerang, and I'm like, ha ha ha, doing a boomerang, and he's like, ha ha ha. And then the flat is completely empty, like there's nothing in here, and we sit. He's like, should we sit down in the middle of the living room and have our Prosecco? And I'm like, yeah, totally. So we sit down in the middle and we have our 2 champagne glasses, and I'm like, oh, let's take Instagram pictures. So I take a picture of him, and then I'm like, take one of me with my champagne glass in the middle of our new living room. And he's like, okay. And so he like goes to take a picture, and he's literally like this. And I'm like, babe, why are you shaking so much? What is wrong with you? And he's like, oh, it must just be the way I'm sitting, because he was like leaning back. It's like, it must just be my core. And I was like, yeah, it's fair. It's not overly fit. And then I was like, well, can you take another one, because it's fuzzy? So he leans back and takes another one, and I'm like, babe, what is wrong with you? You are seriously shaking. He's like, look, I guess I'm just nervous. And I was like, okay. And he was like, because like we just bought a home together. And I was like, oh God, don't be nervous now. Like, we've exchanged, we've got the keys, we have put all that money down, you can't back out now. And he's like, yeah, we like bought a home. And I was like, uh-huh, yeah, we did. And he's like, I guess I feel like now what we should do is like get married. And I was like, yeah. Because we had discussed this, right? We had discussed getting married. For the last few years, we talk about marriage and kids, and because we knew we were going to be together or make the effort to like give ourselves to this life that we wanted to do together. And I was like, well, yeah, of course. And as he's like saying, I guess we should get married, he sort of leans back, and then he does something with his hand, and he's, so what I thought maybe is that we could get married, and I just wondered whether you would marry me. I don't exactly know whether that's exactly what he said, because my brain was having a fart. A mental, literal fart. I don't know what was going on. I literally was like, what? I literally went, are you joking? But I was literally gobsmacked, like, are you joking? What is happening to my life right now? I don't understand. And he's got this ring, and I'm looking at the box, and I'm like, and I didn't cry. I was overwhelmed. I'm looking at the ring, and he's like, no, I'm not joking. Will you marry me? And I'm like, yes. Yeah, of course. Of course. And then honestly, from that moment on, for like the rest of the day, possibly the rest of the week, stroke month, My mouth hurt so much from smiling. I did not think that I was the sort... I grew up not really thinking about marriage and family because I grew up with just my mum. She was a single parent mum, and it was most of the time it was just us. And I remember thinking when I was younger I was going to be a single parent, buy a flat on my own. I remember thinking about this like independent life that I was going to have, but I don't know, like it just all felt so right. And as I say that I was not this, like, I didn't have a wedding book when I was younger of what my wedding was gonna be like at all. But for the last year I did have a Pinterest that I was pinning stuff because I knew we were gonna get married. I didn't think I was gonna be like this wedding-y, but I am so wedding-y. I'm all about planning. I'm not very good at it, but I'm all excited about it. I love it. We have planned our crockery, our food, our videographers, our photographer, and I mean, I don't know, we've got, my dress is kind of chosen. And I'm just so excited. I'm so excited, and we are in such a good place. Like, we say to each other, like, we are so excited to do this, to have the day. Of course, the wedding I am so excited about, to be merry, eat, share love, be cozy with our nearest and dearest. And we're not inviting our not nearest and dearest because we only want the people that we are really close to there. But we are very excited about sharing this day together and then sharing our lives together. And honestly, the proposal could not have been like, it was never going to be on holiday in a fancy restaurant, because it's not Jay, it's not us. And so in our new home, when we picked up the keys, having a glass of Prosecco in the middle of our empty living room was the best engagement I could wish for with this particular man. And I'm so happy and excited, and I cannot wait to share more wedding-y stuff with you down the line. I'm over the moon, and so I just thought that that would be a nice story to relive for myself. Sorry I told it so fast, but I just wanted to make this video as succinct and as compact as possible, because I honestly could have talked to you for at least 3 hours on the subject. But that is our engagement story. But thank you for listening, and if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you guys really, really soon. Okay, later, taters. Fields where they lay keeping their sheep.